Welcome to my channel. I'm Jess, and this is Canyon Oracle, a place where we use divination tools like tarot and oracle cards to inspire healing and transformation in the lives of truth seekers just like you. Today we're going to be looking at what your future in love is like. But before we start, I just want to remind you, you're the architect of your own life. You totally have free will, which means you can totally make a new choice at any moment that might launch you in a whole new direction. Also, these are general readings, so some aspects of the reading may not apply to you at all, or you may choose a pile and discover it doesn't resonate with you at all. Just scratch the pile. Please don't ever try to make it fit. Or move on to another pick a card reading altogether. There's so many amazing ones out there. I've actually really loved watching them myself. And part of the reason why I love watching pick a card readings is because it asks the viewer to tap into their own internal guidance system and use their own intuition. And if that's something that interests you too, I've actually created a really powerful meditation that can support you in doing just that, and I would love to give it to you. You can find this free meditation at canyonoracle.com/YT. You can also find that link in the description box below. There's other things in the description box as well, like the cards that I'm using, a link about the work that I do. I do live one-on-one intuitive coaching sessions. Maybe if you're looking for more support, that might interest you. If there's any other questions that you have and you don't find it in the description box below, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. I promise I will get back to you. Okay, are we ready? We have 4 piles to choose from today. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. So I just invite you to relax, take a deep breath, ground yourself in your body, and ask yourself the question, what is my future in love? And then choose a pile that most resonates with you. And I'll see you on the other side. Hi, Group 1. Welcome to your reading. Okay, we're going to be using a variety of different cards today. We're going to be using some traditional tarot, romance angels, some oracle cards. The last card we're going to look at is a direct message from your higher self to you. So I like to look at the shade and the light aspects of each of the cards and really see how they work together and the larger story that's going to unfold. So we'll look at them one by one and then we'll look at the story. Okay, so we have first the Knight of Swords. The next tarot we have is the 4 of Pentacles. The next tarot card we have for you is the 3 of Swords. And finally, the Strength card. Okay, let's look at the oracle cards we have for you. We have the Observer card. In the Moonology deck, we have Surrender to the Divine, Full Moon. Then for your Romance Angel, we have Passion. And then finally, we have the card of Self-Acceptance. Okay, so let's break this down, shall we? Okay, so the Knight of Swords energy is a really fast-moving energy, and it can sometimes be combative, aggressive. It is like this warrior energy that kind of comes out of nowhere. I often relate this card to like a bull in a china shop, someone who just kind of comes in and doesn't even know their own strength, almost, is what I'm feeling about this card. It's interesting because I'm definitely noticing that although he is a warrior, his arms are not fully covered, so he's not totally protecting himself. There is like a vulnerability to this warrior, and I see him heading into the past. So it feels to me like there is a past energy coming into your current circumstances, which are influencing what you're manifesting in your future. And that's what the cards want to talk about. Something that happened in your past that is influencing how your love life is manifesting. So maybe your last partner was sort of like this. Maybe your last partner was a little combative, a little aggressive in some ways. Maybe there was like a lot of conflict, or just like a general warrior kind of energy between the two of you. Like that was maybe the dynamics that was created between the two of you. But again, I do see the arms being bare. So there is like this vulnerability as well. But really what it feels like it's telling me is there is a vulnerability that is coming from your past that's influencing your future, which makes sense because now we move into the Four of Pentacle energy. And this is an energy oftentimes about self-protection and closing down the heart and the head. You see how his pentacles are hiding his heart and hiding his head. And he is sort of closed down and alone. And a lot of times this guy is on top of a castle. This guy is not, though. In this deck, he is all by himself. So there is something, this feels like now your energy, like it is maybe you're in a space right now where you are sort of closed down, and maybe you're worrying about what your future in love looks like because you had a difficult time. Which also makes sense because we then move into the energy of the Three of Swords, and this is definitely the card of heartbreak. We see this man crying, and we have the heart with the swords. What's beautiful about this card that I love is that the swords are going right through the center of the heart. So this is like really getting to the heart of the matter of things. So whatever just recently happened, it really has the potential to crack you open in a way, and maybe in a way that you never have been cracked open before. Maybe this energy of the Four of Pentacles is something that you have been carrying around with you. It feels like maybe for some time, and maybe it started even before this last relationship. And maybe this wasn't necessarily a romantic relationship, but a past energy with men or something. This is assuming that you're a woman. You very well could be a man, and you can cross these genders. Also remember that because this is a general reading, I could be speaking about you and not your past love. But it does feel like there's a past energy, probably a masculine energy, that was sort of aggressive, and maybe not in a malicious way. Maybe they weren't a bad person, but they just were maybe dominating and aggressive and sort of and in a verbal way. So this is swords. So I'm getting really strongly that it's about the words that they use. They use maybe cutting words that sort of cut you down and insulted you. Maybe they insulted you sometimes. And maybe it wasn't your past lover. Maybe it was your father. Maybe it was your brother. Maybe it was a friend. But there was some energy from your past that cut you down in some ways, that made you close down. And again, the closing down, I would suspect, came before this relationship, but it exacerbated it, which created this Three of Swords energy. So I would imagine that you're currently in a state of heartbreak. It doesn't feel, I know that we're asking about your future, but again, I'm feeling very strongly that the cards want us to see that your past is influencing your future. So that tells me that this Three of Swords energy is most likely a past energy. Or it's current. It's like what you're experiencing right now is a feeling of loss, of heartbreak, of sadness. It could have been an experience that was like the rug was pulled out from under you, particularly with this Knight of Swords energy, with this fast sort of aggressive energy. Something could have happened very quickly that caused you to shut down maybe even further. Then we have the energy, this beautiful energy of the Strength card. This is a major arcana, which tells me this is a theme of your life right now. Whatever you're currently going through, it's here to teach you about your own internal strength. What I also love about this card is that she is here's this little maiden, right, who is taming this wild beast. So the beast can represent your own ego and your own internal even fears, like dealing with your own fears around vulnerability, around love. And whatever you're going through right now is designed to support you in opening up and being brave and courageous around vulnerability. It also can represent your taming of an outside force. So maybe this sort of aggressive, combative, possibly insulting, most likely masculine energy is something that you can tame in a way. Now, I'm not telling you that if you were in an aggressive or at all abusive relationship, you should go back there and try to tame this beast. Not at all. But I can tell you that the more inner strength that you cultivate, the more courage you have in the face of your own fears, the more strength you have in dealing with aggressive energies outside of you, within other people as well, obviously, right? So then we have the Observer card. This is an interesting card. It's like getting a greater perspective of things. You see him up on this, it's like an egg or something, on a hill up high from a higher vantage point with a greater perspective of things, with his telescope looking up at the stars, at the moon. So again, like a greater perspective and a distance. So it feels like there is a distance that is required right now in order to gain this strength. So if you are currently in a relationship and it's feeling like heartbreak, I would say that the cards are saying to you to step back and gain some distance, find your own inner strength before you go back in there again, find your own footing, your own grounding, your own courage, and then walk back in. If you're not in a relationship and this is indeed a past energy of heartbreak and dealing with sort of aggressive energies, this is a beautiful time for you to really gain perspective and maybe do some healing work around love and vulnerability and heartbreak and opening yourself up. This might be a really beautiful time for you to do some journal work or learn about meditation or prayer if that's not already something that you do. Work with a coach or a therapist or something. But I definitely feel like the cards are asking you to take this time for yourself to gain perspective and clarity around whatever is going on. The next card that we have for you is Surrender to the Divine, the full moon. So the full moon is about everything coming to a head, right? Which is exactly what can happen with this Three of Swords energy. So maybe, you're in the middle of a breakup right now. And this card is asking you to surrender, which feels very similar to this Observer card, which is not about action. It's not about you having to do anything. It's really not even about you having to figure things out. It feels like this sense of everything will be illuminated. Because in the light of the full moon, we have to remember that when it's nighttime, we can't see as well, obviously, because the sun isn't out, right? And the moon doesn't really have its own light. It is a luminary like the sun because it does provide light, but it's a reflective light. It's not its own source of light. So there's a reflective energy. There is a fullness of reflection that is being reflected in the cards right now. This request from whomever you believe is giving you guidance through these cards right now, your higher self, your angels, the divine God, is asking you to surrender to whatever is coming to light, whatever is coming up within you, whatever even you're thinking about as you're watching this video. All of those thoughts, all of those insights, that's exactly what you're supposed to be spending time with right now, with your inner self. before you worry about moving on to the next relationship. The next card we have for you is Passion. I love this card. And you see how there's an angel with her, which makes me feel again like it's not in the material realm. It is like the divine is working with you. Feels very strongly like that. And the card says, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So it's about finding your own joy right now. So whatever happened is caused a lot of pain and suffering in your life. I can feel it. I can tell that's what's happening, which is probably why you find yourself at this reading today, right? But the cards, your higher self, are asking you to take a step back and learn how to access that joy within yourself, to access the passion of life. What is it that you're passionate about? You know, maybe this is the perfect time to discover an old passion. Maybe you have a creative gift. Maybe you have a gift of music, of singing, playing an instrument, some sort of passion that will ignite that internal flame within you, you know, something that will bring out that spark of life within you, that God spark within you, that will help you to get more clarity about what happened in this past relationship, also about who you are and what you really want. There's something too that feels like self-discovery is being asked for right now. And maybe that's also about what this observer card is about. It's like not just observing like what happened inside of the relationship, like why was he a jerk, why did it end, etc., but observing your own self and your own value and your own potential and your own needs and your own desires and who you really are and what really makes you happy in life. Because those are the most important things. Going into any relationship, it's like, you know, true love is really about union and merging and resonance. And if we don't know who we are, and if we're not resonating with our own authentic self, then how can we find what resonates with us? You know what I mean? So if I don't quite know who I am, it's hard for me to attract a partner because they're not going to quite know who I am either. And I'm not going to quite know what I want. So it feels like, you know, this is a beautiful time for you to discover who you really are, what really makes you happy, what lights you up about life, aside from relationship, aside from love. And when you can get to that place of real inner strength where you don't have any fears about who is going to leave you or not. Now, listen, it's totally natural to be, for relationships and love to be a big deal in our life. It's totally natural to be worried about relationships ending. However, I also believe that we can get to a place of such internal strength and knowing who we are and trusting our own self that no matter what happens outside of us, we're still strong, we're still peaceful, we're still grounded, we're still passionate about our own life and what lights us up. So I think that that is the greater message that wants to be told right now. Now let's look at this last card. This again is the card that I chose to pull directly as a message from your higher self to you. And you got the card of self-acceptance. And it says, nothing is more exhausting than endlessly working on yourself. When you offer your whole being fully to love, self-acceptance arises spontaneously. May I rest in our oneness, dear divine. How interesting. So this card is saying to me, it feels a lot about surrender again, and that It's not again about necessarily figuring things out, but for allowing things to be what they are. So maybe there was some aspect of this relationship where you morphed yourself in some way, because there is definitely a theme here about you and your relationship to yourself. So maybe historically in your past relationships, you have altered yourself in some way. You have shut down your heart in some way, even maybe shut down your mind. Maybe you don't fully express your ideas and your thoughts inside of relationship. And it doesn't work, it's never going to work in the long run, because your higher self is not going to go for it. Your higher self wants you to fully show up as all of yourself and to accept yourself. And when you surrender to love, it's not just about surrendering to loving the other person. It's about surrendering to loving yourself. Fully loving yourself for all the things you are and all the things you are not. And when you can fully accept yourself, then it's much easier for you to fully accept another and to then experience true love. So again, the story and the message feels clearly to me that you're moving out of an energy, either with a past relationship, romantic relationship, or just relationships in general, where there has been some cutting, sort of aggressive energy that has caused you to sort of shut down. And you are experiencing some heartbreak around this. However, it is designed to open you up, to help you find your own internal strength, to help you find your own passion, who you really are, and to accept yourself fully in all the ways that you are perfect and all the ways that you believe yourself to be imperfect. Because guess what? You're human and you never can get around any of that, right? Like, all of us have flaws. We are all doing the best that we can. And when you surrender to life being exactly the way that it should be, in other words, there's nothing you need to change about yourself. You're perfect the way you are. All you need to do is discover more of who you truly are. Not change it, not alter it, not fix it, but know it, accept it, love it. That is what's being asked of you. And I see that as you do that, love will spontaneously and effortlessly come into your life. Because the internal world is always reflecting in the out, right? So in other words, the world around us is a reflection of our internal world. So the more you accept yourself, the more acceptance will come into your life. Love will come into your life. The more you love yourself, the more love will be attracted into your life. So group one, that was your reading today. I hope that it provided you with some insight and some peace. I would love to hear what resonated with you in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, I would love a like. It really would make a big difference for me. Also, maybe subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing pick a card readings every Sunday. So maybe there will be another one in the future that resonates with you. I thank you so much for your time and your attention, and I send you so much love and light. And until next time, be well. Hi, Group 2. Welcome to your reading. So we're going to be using a variety of different cards today. We have traditional tarot cards, we have oracle cards, romance angels. The final card that we're going to look at is a direct message from your higher self to you. So we're going to look at each card individually and then sort of see how they all work together and what patterns are playing out, what stories want to be told. I look at both the light and the dark in every card. Just so you know, in terms of reversals and upright and all of that, I like to look at them all together. So the first tarot card that we have for you is the Six of Wands. Beautiful start. Then we have the Page of Cups. Then we have the Five of Wands. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles. Interesting. Then we have the Y card, and it was in the reverse. Interesting. Then we have confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. In the Moonology deck that was from. Fabulous. Romance angel, we have healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Interesting. And then the final card we'll read for you is the contentment card. So, the Six of Wands is about success, recognition, confidence. So, and I see him heading into the future. So this is telling me that we're looking at some real positive things moving into your life in regard to love. And my sense is that this new relationship is going to bring a lot of confidence into your life. If you already aren't, oh, right, because we did get also the card of confidence. So clearly we can start this out with there is a theme of confidence here. And it feels like either you're moving into a place of confidence right now in your love life, or it's very literally moving into your life in the future. The next card we have is the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups can be about apologies. It can also be about very small expressions of love. Oftentimes the pages represent either young people or messages. So it's like a small message of love is coming your way. I'm getting the sense that you have someone already in mind. That this is not like whoever you just thought of right now is probably the person that we're going to be looking at. My sense is you already know this person. Whoever is coming into your life around love, they're already there. So it's a friend or someone you work with, maybe someone you're just now starting to date. But definitely there's going to be a small message coming your way in relation to romance, love. Then we have the Five of Wands. And this is a card, this can be a card that can be defensive, combative, banter. That's kind of what it feels like to me. It's like there is a playful banter that you have with this person. Maybe they really challenge you in a lot of ways. And that is probably what is going to help you with your confidence or something. There's something about the way that they talk to you, and kind of like, it feels like they kind of maybe prod you a little bit, tease you. You know how sometimes like, it's like the story of, or the stereotype of like how boys will throw spitballs at girls in grade school or whatever when they like them. It's like that. It's like he or she like kind of nudges you and teases you a little bit, because on a soul level they want you to be confident and to stand up for yourself, but they're doing it in a loving way. It doesn't feel, there's no swords energy here. It doesn't feel aggressive or malicious or mean. It doesn't feel like the arguments are anything major. It just feels like a fun banter, like a very sort of like a British banter, if you know what I mean. Which is very sort of intellectual. It feels like this person is smart. Whoever's coming into your life, they are sharp, real sharp. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is waiting. It's definitely a waiting energy. It is observing. It's like, I've put in this work and now I'm adding everything up. Like, what are the profits and the losses? What's working? What's not working? It's a pause. It's definitely a pause. And maybe that's your energy right now in relation to this person that's in your life. Or just that represents the dynamics, the energetic dynamics right now between you and this person. There is like a pause. Maybe there was like a small start and now we're sort of pausing. But I do think that that is going to continue, this relationship. Whatever this is, this friendship, etc. So the next card that we got for you is the Why card, and it was in the reverse, which basically this card is asking you why. Why are you asking this question? And as we can see, he's got this book here, right? And it's like the message has to do something with like, you already know the answer to this question that you're asking. So you have a sense about this person that's in your life, that's just coming into your life right now. And you have a sense that it's going to turn into a romantic partnership. But it's also like with the wings on the book, it's like it keeps kind of flying away. It's like you get a little bit closer and then it goes, he goes, or there is this period of waiting or separation again. So maybe it does come with this sort of like playful bantery energy, which is kind of in and out and in and out. But I kind of feel like that is designed to help you gain confidence in yourself. And maybe it's confidence in yourself as a romantic partner. Yeah, because we got this confidence is your key to success, this new moon in Leo. So Leos have this polarizing energy within them, which is they are both oftentimes very confident and insecure. And so I imagine that if insecurity is something that you've been dealing with in life, that's only because you have the capacity to be equally as confident. And whatever you're going through right now in regard to love is asking you to start to cultivate that confidence within you that you have. It's there. So this person is going to help you with that. And maybe they will be your one forever or for a long time, or maybe they're just here to teach you more about how to be confident in yourself. Because the truth is, I imagine that you are a fabulous person and that you have tons of, maybe not suitors necessarily, but like admirers, like people really like you. And maybe you just don't see it, or you don't allow yourself to fully accept it or see it. But I think you're a very charming, likable person. People really do like you. And even though you can come off as confident, maybe you do, maybe you have this thing where you're sitting on your horse and you seem to be very proud of yourself, but really inside you're kind of scared and a little insecure. It's time now. It's time now for you to really step into the truth of who you are and really step into that self-security and self-confidence in yourself, knowing what a great gift you are to any partner and how lucky anyone would be to be with you. And so if this person pulls away or if it doesn't work out, you're not as, not as devastated by it because you're confident that the next person will be coming around the bend, that you are a catch, and that you will continue to attract great partners for you. So the next card that we're going to look at is the Romance Angel card, and you got Healing Family Issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So I would imagine that whatever this confidence issue is that you're dealing with, or the insecurities that you're dealing with, probably come from your childhood. Just like all of our wounds come from our childhood. Nobody escapes this, right? So that's where the cards want you to look for whatever reason. And if this is true for you, it will, you'll get an idea about this. Like whatever is popping into your head right now around your childhood, that is probably where you want to look. And it may not be from your parents. It may be from certain situations from your childhood. Like I was a performer all through my childhood, and I got a lot of insecurities because I'm really tall, and I was always really tall from the very beginning of my life, and I've always had weight issues. So to be a dancer, in ballet tights, the tallest one out of the group and the biggest one out of the group, and always in front of a mirror, it screwed with my head so much. And a lot of the insecurities that I took on throughout my life had to do with me being a performer, way more than childhood wounding from my family. So don't get stuck on your parents. It feels to me like it's something like that for you too. Like somehow maybe you were compared to your sibling or something, and they were the pretty one, or they were the smart one, or they were this one, and you always kind of compared yourself to them. And you never felt like you were the one in the spotlight on the horse. Well, I hate to break it to you, but you are the one on the horse. You are the one that people admire already. So it's time that you start to pay attention to that. And you can really kind of keep track of that for yourself. Like, pause when someone wants to compliment you, or when someone says something nice about you. Take a moment, take a deep breath, ground yourself in your body, and allow that to really come into your space, and start to notice how people ask you for advice. People want to hang out with you. People want to sit next to you because you have a really beautiful energy, and it attracts great people into your life. And it's time that you start to recognize that. So the new moon also in Leo is like the beginning of something. It's the beginning of you possibly in this new love cycle. Maybe that's what this is about. It really is like a small message of love. And, at the full moon, things really come to fruition. So it might be a cycle of like a month that we're talking about here. And within this month, you want to really start to look at where you are holding yourself back because of insecurities. And, allow your light to shine. So let's look at this last card that we pulled, from your higher self to you. And you got the card of contentment. And it says, you can learn to rest in what you already have and already are. Isn't that beautiful? Suddenly you remember, I'm right here resting in God. So you already have everything you ever need to be the perfect partner for your perfect person. You don't have to lose any weight. You don't have to get a better job. You don't have to learn a new skill. You already have everything that you need. You already are everything you need to be in order to attract that perfect person. And I would guess from looking at these cards that your person is probably already in your life. And they already see all these beautiful things about you, but they want you to see it too. So it's time that you really pull in that lion energy within you, that courageous confidence that you have access to within yourself, deep within yourself. You don't need to ask why anymore. You don't need to ask, what next? How do I need to fix myself? What do I need to do? Who do I need to be? You're already there. You are already there in this present moment. So, the next time you start feeling insecure too, you want to bring yourself to the present moment, because those feelings of insecurity are coming from the past. Another thing that you can do is when you start to feel insecure, you can ask yourself, where did this come from? And just allow for whatever insights may arise. I mentioned at the beginning that I have a really great meditation, and I really feel like this could be a great meditation for you. It's free. You can find it at canyanoracle.com/YT. And it takes you on an inward journey into yourself. So maybe because I don't think you always need to know the root cause of things, but because you did get healing family issues, if you don't already know what it is that has created these insecurities within you, maybe it would be beneficial for you to find out where these come from. And something like the meditation that I created could be really powerful for you. A reading might be an amazing thing for you as well, with me or someone else. But it's time. It's time that you let go of those insecurities, that you really step into the fullness of who you are and allow yourself to be confident and love yourself just as you are, because you are fabulous. Okay? All right, group 2, that was your reading. I hope that it brought you some clarity and some peace of mind. I would love to hear what resonated for you in the comment section below. If you liked this video, I would love a thumbs up. It would really make a huge difference for me. Maybe subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting pick a card videos every Sunday, so maybe there's another one that's going to resonate with you as well. I thank you so much for your time and attention. I send you so much love and light. And until next time, be well. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your reading. Okay, we're going to be using a variety of different cards today. We're going to be using traditional tarot cards, some romance angels, some oracle cards. The very last card that we're going to look at is a direct message from your higher self to you. So the first card that we got is the 7 of Cups. The next card we have is the 5 of Swords. Then we have the 4 of Wands. Then we have the 8 of Cups. Then we have the Thinker card. Then we have, from the Moonology deck, Work Through Your Fears, New Moon in Scorpio. Then we have the card of Chemistry in the Romance Angels. And then the last card that we have for you is Forgiveness. Okay, so let's look at them one by one. I really like to look at the light and the shade, the shadow aspects of each of the cards and see how they all fit together and really look at the larger story that wants to be told. So the first card we have, again, is the 7 of Cups. This card can be about confusion, fantasy, things, in the fantasy world that haven't come to fruition yet, options, choices, etc. So there's something that you're considering. You're really like, oh, well, obviously, and it's right underneath the Thinker card. So you're really in your head right now. And my sense is you're in your head about something that just happened. So we have the 5 of Swords energy, or something you're afraid is going to happen. Probably because of what happened before, right? Because whatever, most of the time, if we're not actively, working through things and manifesting things and conscious of what we're thinking about, what we do as human beings is we repeat the past. We continue to repeat the same dynamics over and over again until we heal them. So there's something about your past, and this conflict feels like it came from the past. So this 5 of Swords energy is a conflict. Now, he won, but at what cost, right? You see he has the swords, but there's 2 people walking away and he's now all alone. So there's something that it feels like it was cut off. Something just got cut off. And then we have the 4 of Wands, and the 4 of Wands is like a celebratory card. It's often the card of marriage. So it could be very literally that there was I almost want to say that it feels like it was like a proposal that you denied or something, but it also could have been like a divorce or a wedding that was ended or something like that, or a celebration, like some sort of a greater grounding, a greater level of a relationship that was thwarted, that was cut off in some way. And it feels like you were the one who did it because of something that you were afraid of. And then we move on to the Eight of Cups, and that is a card of walking away, of leaving. It can, I mean, here's the good news. When we're leaving something, we're going somewhere else, right? So it feels like something just ended, and you're moving on to something else. Then we have the Thinker card, and this really is a card about contemplation and getting clear about what really happened. So whatever just happened, you are literally thinking about it. Should I have done that? Should he have done that? Should I have said that? And with all of that internal stuff is coming a lot of fears, because then we got the card of work through your fears, the new moon in Scorpio. So Scorpio is deep, emotionally very deep. I mean, we do have water cards, cup cards here. So there's a lot of deep emotional energy that you're working through. And also I'm really noticing like how this Scorpio is, you know, he's got a big stinger on him, this Scorpio. And this Five of Swords can have a real big stinger on it too. So it feels to me like you are, now here's the deal, because this is a general reading, we could be talking about you or we could be talking about your person. So either you or your person, or perhaps both of you, really hurt each other. Like, you really like said maybe some nasty things to each other, or did something really nasty, and now you are afraid that either it's going to happen again, or, you know, in a new relationship, or that it will repeat itself with this old relationship that maybe even you're considering going back to, or you're still in it in some way. The next card that we have is the Chemistry card. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. So it's passionate. It's like you are probably a very passionate person. And maybe chemistry is the thing that has drawn you to people in your past, but it hasn't worked out well. And maybe that's what you're thinking about. Maybe you're not trusting yourself because you, historically have chosen people that you were super attracted to, but maybe you didn't connect with them in more practical ways, or intellectually, or spiritually. There was more that you needed. And so you're not trusting your own ability to choose in some way. I'm also noticing that we have 4, 4. So this card, the Thinker, is 4 and 4. Then we have the 4 of Wands, and we have the 8 of Cups. So the 8 and the 4, it's like this grounded energy, and also, the 4 is very grounding. It is like foundational in many ways. And then the 8 is like this cycle, this ever-flowing, the infinity. It's like the 8 is the infinity sign. So it's like this juxtaposition between grounding and movement that I'm getting here. And maybe that's what it is. It's like, should I stay or should I go? I know that the question that we're asking right now is about your future in love. But it feels like you're asking that really what's going on with you is something current, some relationship currently. Let's look at the final card and see how it all sort of ties together, because I have a feeling that it will beautifully once we read this. And you got the card of Forgiveness, and it says, healing comes from acceptance. Help me, dear Lord, to fully accept what is, knowing that this alone will open me to the new. So forgiveness is very much being called for here. This could be about forgiveness for your person that you're dealing with. It could also be about forgiveness for your own self and your own actions. So whoever was stinging, whoever was, and we have to remember that hurt people hurt people. It's such a cheesy thing to say. I apologize. But it's true. It's like, people who sting and say mean things and fight hard are the people who are most afraid and who have been hurt the worst in life, right? And that's why they lash out. So both you and your person probably have dealt with a lot of pain in the past. And there is this cycle, again, that's being repeated in this sort of infinity, this pattern of moving from the past into the future again and again and again and again. And, maybe that's why a lot of times a lot of chemistry and fiery, passionate energy comes with combative, argumentative energy as well. It doesn't have to, but it can. And that's my sense that is your pattern. That's what's been playing out in your life. This combative, aggressive, we're so in love, and then we have a huge blow up and everything falls apart. There you go, the feather falls on the floor. I don't know if you could see that, but perfect timing, right? It's like everything comes to a head and then it explodes. And it's important for you, I think the cards are saying, to learn about how to ground. That's what it is. So the 4s and the 8s, this feeling that I'm having about grounding, foundational versus movement versus I'm out of here. I'm getting out of here. It's like these two energies that we're working with, that you're working with right now, which are this grounded, stable, celebratory, we're going to build a house and we're going to live here together forever. And this can sometimes be boring, right? And then we have this energy, which is I am packing up and I am moving on. I'm going to some great adventure, under the moon. I don't know what's happening out there, but I got to get out of here. Well, that comes from many things, but my sense is for you, it comes from fear. It feels like you're the one who wants to pack up and get out of here when things start to get a little bit too stable. Again, it could be about the other person that we're talking about here. My sense is this is about you, though, that, when things start to get too comfortable, too grounded, too stable, something inside of you says, get me the heck out of here. This is not safe. And the cards are asking you to think about that and to forgive. Forgive your past, forgive yourself, forgive this other person. Because if you resist that part of yourself, it's like when we can't fully love our shadow. So let's say this is something that maybe you're like, yeah, I know I do that. Tell me something I don't know, right? So, okay, maybe you already know this about yourself. Maybe you already know that you want to run when things start to feel too safe. Well, that's great. That's the first step. The second step is, can you forgive that part of yourself? Can you fully accept that part of yourself? Can you love that part of yourself? Because either you're going to attract your polar opposite or your exact same, right? So, which is really like two sides of the same coin. It's like either you're going to attract the person that, when the relationship starts to get comfortable, they run away, or you're going to attract the person that, wants to lock you down so quickly because they're so afraid you're going to run away. Right? And then it creates that same dynamic over and over and over again. So how do you break the wheels of karma? How do you rather stop the wheel of karma from turning over and over again? Forgiveness. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness is always the magic key. And what does that mean? Acceptance. I am a human being doing the best that I can, and so is everyone else. I have had to deal with some serious stuff in life. And guess what? Life is hard for all of us. Life is scary for all of us. And we all have coping mechanisms. And yeah, we want to work through those things, and we want to always evolve and grow and become better versions of ourselves. And of course, you want to get to a place in your life where you can have a happy, stable relationship that only grows deeper and deeper over time. But you have to accept that part of you that wants to run away. And it is, in my view, different than many other people, and I realize that, but it's in my view that you may always have this part of yourself. You may always have a little piece of yourself that wants to get the heck out of here when things get too cozy. But if you can love that part of yourself, if you can accept that part of yourself, then it doesn't have to run you. You own it. You own all the parts of yourself. I have the stable part of myself. I have the runner part of myself. I have the scared part of myself. I have the confident part of myself and the courageous part of myself. I have the part of myself that wants to cut you off at the knees. I have the part of myself that wants to nurture you fully till the end of time. I have everything within me, and I accept all those parts of myself, and I love all those parts of myself. Then you have the potential to dance, to move, to play, to create. Then you can create the life that you want. The life with chemistry, the life with stability, all of it. But you can't get there if you deny aspects of yourself, if you reject parts of yourself. You have to accept first. Then you can move and dance with all of those parts of yourself. And over time, they may be so healed that they leave your energy field entirely, and you don't have to work with that stuff again. But if you accept and love them, it doesn't matter, because you're cool either way. Does that make sense? So again, the theme is, I get a sense, obviously, that you have a lot on your mind right now, that something maybe just ended, or you're in the middle of something about leaving or staying. Should I go? Should I stay? Maybe you're mad at yourself. Oh, I'm doing this again, another cycle. Here I go again. Why do I always get afraid and I want to run away? The cards are saying, forgive yourself, accept yourself, and forgive and accept this other person that you're dealing with as well. Because whether you stay with them or go back to them or not, or move on to the next relationship, all of that forgiveness will support you in moving on to the next relationship, right? Which has the potential to be grounded and stable and also passionate and sexy and fun. That will meet you on all levels of yourself. All right, group 3, this was your reading. I hope that it brought you some insight and clarity and peace and guidance. And I would love so much to hear what resonated for you in the comment section below, if you feel comfortable to do that. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love a thumbs up, or maybe even subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing pick a card readings every Sunday. So maybe there's going to be some other ones that resonate with you as well. I just thank you so much for your time and your attention. I send you so much love and light. And until next time, be well. Hi, group 4. Welcome to your reading. Okay, we're going to be using a variety of different cards today. We're going to be using traditional tarot cards, romance angels, oracle cards, and the final card that we're going to pull is a direct message from your higher self to you. So we'll look at each card and then see the sort of larger story or patterns that are really unfolding. So the first card we have for you is the Page of Wands. Then we have the Queen of Cups. Then we have the Two of Swords. Then we have the Three of Wands. Then we have the Imagine card. Then we have expect powerful change. New moon eclipse. Wow, you have the eclipse energy. Then we have romantic feelings. And the last card that we'll read for you is the ambition card. Okay, so let's look at each card. So we start with the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands, pages can be young people. They can also be messengers. It feels like it's like a passionate start of some kind, like you're embarking on some new adventure. Now this could be you, this could be another person. It feels like it's representing an energy, because I'm really noticing the green leaves sprouting at the top of this wand, and it's like just the beginning sprouts of a new adventure of some kind that you are about to embark on. Either you've just begun or you're thinking about it. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so then we have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, again, can absolutely be a person. This could be you. It's like nurturing, loving, emotional. I'm noticing her crown and she's so focused on this cup of hers. And it feels like it feels to me like you're really focusing on love right now. Like this is, and maybe it's a new person that you've just met, but it feels like it's an overall theme for you right now, that you are taking this time in your life, or maybe it's asking you to take this time in your life right now. We'll see as it plays out, to focus on love. I think, we can only do one thing at a time in life, really well. In other words, you don't want to start a cleanse at the same time that you're starting a business, at the same time that you're dating online. Like, it's a lot to take on, right? So when we want to manifest something beautiful in our lives, it's important that we take the time and the energy to do that. So it feels like that's what you're doing right now. Your mind is is focused around love and passion and romance right now. Now it's interesting because then we move on to the energy of the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is this stalemate energy oftentimes, like we're not going anywhere, right? It's like she's blindfolded, she's got her two swords close to her chest, she's under the light of the moon, so she can't see anything, she's not going anywhere. It is this very passive energy, this Two of Swords energy. Which is interesting because the swords are typically quite active, but in this card, in the Two and in the Four of Swords, they're very, very passive. So it feels like you're learning how to tap into your intuition. Again, it feels like you're going within. Like, yeah, it is a new adventure, but maybe like manifesting is a whole new thing for you. Or maybe you haven't started using tools like manifestation or meditation, like visualizations and stuff. You know what I mean? Like when you literally visualize the kind of love that you want and do all the journal work about it. This is what it feels like is a new adventure for you in some way. Like you're taking on this new way of going about creating love in your life. And I would venture to say it is a new thing for you, or you're taking it on in a whole new way. Like, I have been doing sort of manifestation work and, the law of attraction stuff, like since I was a kid, because I kind of grew up in the new age world. But I'll tell you, about 2 years ago, I really took on manifesting love in a way that I'd never done before. Like, I really focused every single day on visualizations. I was doing love rituals. I had my collage board, on the wall that I looked at every day. And it worked. So I feel like that's what you're stepping into. And the difference is that we can go about things in a very external way. Like, dating, for example, is a great way to meet people and to find love, of course. However, we have to deal with our energy too, right? We have to deal with our mind. We have to deal with our vibration. And it feels very strongly to me that that is what you're doing right now. And it's taking you on a new adventure. Now, the Three of Wands is that energy about waiting for your ships to come in, right? It is, again, like a pause in the action of things, waiting for things to sort of come to fruition. It's also a card of adventure and like planning a trip of some kind. He's stepped into this portal, but things haven't really happened yet. And in this card in particular, because sometimes there's boats out on the shore in the ocean that we can see literally coming in. There's no ships here. So it feels like I would say you are definitely single right now. Although this can be a card of a woman who is partnered for sure. It feels more like it's just that your heart is full and you're a very compassionate person and you really want love in your life. And it feels like you're going about it in a different way, a really beautiful way, like a way where you're doing the internal work, like I said, and really going within and maybe very literally like meditating and not moving forward until you do that deep inner work. Because then we have the card of Imagine, and the card of Imagine is literally just all about this, what I'm talking about. Oh, you know what I got for this too? The Page of Wands can be about writing. So maybe you're doing a lot of journal work right now as well as a part of that. This card of Imagine is about visualizing what you want. So either you are doing all these things that I'm saying, or the cards, your higher self, whomever you believe is speaking to you through these cards, is telling you very clearly that that is what you want to do. That in relation to your future love life, you want to use that imagination of yours. You want to tap into that powerful meditation or manifestation tool that you have in your mind's eye. So it is about going within. And how interesting that we literally have an eclipse card. So what is that? An eclipse is when the light is closed down. She's under the moon. It's like you can't see anything yet, but there is this powerful energy that's right under the surface. You see all this water, like we don't know how deep this water is. And right next to the Queen of Cups, like there's a lot of water in this. My goodness, it's like there's water on almost every card. On top of the water, on top of the water, on top of the water. The water can be obviously like emotions. It can also be consciousness. It can be spirit. So it's telling me that you can and probably are tapping into a very deep well within you. That you are a powerful manifester and that powerful change is coming. Because of this work that you're doing, this powerful change is coming. And, eclipses don't last but for a few hours? I don't really know, to be honest with you, but I know they're not longer than a few hours, right? It's not like an eclipse goes on forever. So it feels like you're right on the verge of real change happening in your life. The next card that we have is romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So now that could very literally mean that you have just recently met someone. It also could just mean that you are a very romantic person and that, what you seek is seeking you. Have you ever heard that before? What that means basically is that if you are wanting to create love in your life, then love is wanting to come into your life as well. And I would imagine that your perfect person is probably doing some work on themselves right now as well, and maybe doing a little manifestation work as well, and really imagining what the relationship would be like that they want to have with you. So let's go back to this real fast. When you imagine about the relationship that you want to get super duper specific, like in terms of what does a day look like that you guys spend together? What does your living situation look like? You can journal about this stuff. You can dream about this stuff. You can journal and imagine, fantasize. Fantasies are the same thing as doing manifestation work, really, because you are putting it inside of your consciousness, and your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So the more you repeat what you want in your mind's eye over and over and over again, the more likely you are to attract it. I said that I had been doing all of this manifestation work over the last couple of years, right? And I used to literally visualize going to the farmer's market every Sunday morning with my love, because I love going to the farmer's market. I love food. I love eating. And I always would go by myself on Sunday mornings, and I hated it. I always felt really lonely, and I would see these happy couples. And so every night I would do this visualization, and I would visualize going to the farmer's market with my boyfriend. And what do I do every Sunday now? I go to the farmer's market with my boyfriend. So it works. It works. There's other kinds of work that we need to do too, right? Like clearing out any sort of like wounds or blocks that we may have to love. That's also equally important. But you also want to spend a lot of time on what you love. And my sense is that you've already done a lot of work on yourself. You probably have done a ton of healing work on yourself, and that's why your heart is wide open right now. So now it's time to deal with your mind and visualizing what you want. Let's go into the last card that we pulled for you. And again, this is the card about, this is going to be direct guidance from your higher self. And you got the card of ambition. And it says, may I offer all my deepest longings to love itself and invite a divine plan beyond the mind's imagining. Please use me, God, for the highest good. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. It's like taught me a lesson even just reading this card, right? Because what am I been saying? Like you want to visualize exactly what you want. And that's beautiful too. But you can also say, you know what, God, my higher self, life, whatever you believe is the goodness that flows through your life, you ask that, you call upon that energy to bring you something so beautiful, more beautiful than you could ever even imagine. And you stand on that shore and you expect it because you deserve it and because it is coming to you. I mean, you're at this reading for a very, important reason. And I do believe that the reason is for you to know that whatever you're doing is working and to keep doing it. And maybe to amp it up even a little bit more and include prayer. So if you're not already doing that. So journaling, meditation, and prayer. And the prayer is, may I offer all my deepest longings to love itself. My deepest longings to love itself. And invite a divine plan beyond the mind's imagining. Please use me, God, for the highest good. So, we always want to say when we're doing manifesting work, this or something greater. So my sense is that whatever is coming into your life is going to be better than what you're even imagining. I mean, that feels very clear. And maybe that's what this is about, that there are some limitations to what you've been maybe believing is possible for you. You know, maybe your history in love has been not the greatest, or has been limited in some way. Maybe you're inexperienced in some way. And so it's hard for you to really believe and think like, is it even possible for me to be in love? Like, what does my future look like? Well, I'm here to tell you that your future looks beautiful in love, and that it's probably going to be way better than you can even imagine. So you might want to bump up your visualizations a little bit. Or at the very least, when you do your visualizations, you ask God to bring you something, this or even better, God. Love, life, whatever you ask, whoever you speak to, right? Because powerful change is coming. I got to tell you, this is like the most beautiful group of the piles, and it's because I feel this, like, you see all this light that's coming out behind from the darkness. It's like, it is like this, it almost feels to me like the thing that I keep getting in my mind's eye is a tidal wave, in a good way. Like a tidal wave of love is coming into your life, like that you don't expect. Like, even if you're doing all this manifestation work, I don't think that you even have the first clue about how beautiful this love is that's about to come into your life, that is going to allow you to give all this love that you have, this huge ocean of love that you have right under your feet, right in your energy field. It's time that you start to give it away. And I know that love, that life, that God is bringing you that love. It's very, very clear. And I wouldn't even tell you to have faith in it, because it feels like you already have faith in it. I would just say it's going to be better than what you thought. And you just hold tight. You stay on that shore and you expect it's coming. And boy, is it going to be beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, group 4. I mean, that's all I have to say. This was an absolutely gorgeous reading. I hope that it brought you some clarity, some insight, some peace of mind in knowing that there are gorgeous, beautiful things right around the corner for you. Powerful change is coming into your life. Change that you cannot believe how amazing it's going to be. I'd love to hear if this resonated with you. I would love to hear what kind of stuff that you've been doing. Like, have you already been doing all this visualization and journaling work? Like, what have you been doing? In the comment section below, that would be amazing. If you liked the video, I'd love a thumbs up, or even subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing pick a card readings every Sunday, so maybe there's other ones that might resonate with you as well. I thank you so much for your time and your attention. I send you so much love and light. And until next time, be well.